Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to discuss some of the issues that I've had in this window box and why it might look different. Hi, my name is Brad. I'm a gardener here in Northeast Ohio, Zone 6B. I go by Garden Evolution, and we had some complications with this window box, and luckily our local garden center, Battaglias Garden Center in Ravenna, had a really good deal going on, and you should take advantage of it as well. They had all of their annuals 5 for 10, and that included all their proven winners. So I kind of went a little hog wild, moderately, because this container, which was originally planted up with the Kufia from Proven Winners, which is totally tempted watermelon, I believe was the name, and then I also had the vivid vivid violet dahlia. I'm probably getting some of these names wrong, and then the heliotrope, that magical heliotrope. And I was really excited about the combo that came off their website. And what I think is because these are the Crescent Garden self-watering containers, they keep the soil evenly moist very well. And it's really great for, sweet potato vines or coleus and really water hungry plants like petunias and such. But those plants I've noticed are not as vigorous, and they also don't take up as much water. They need kind of a moment of drying out in between. So I was struggling with them. In fact, the Kufia was the first one to go. It actually started browning out of the tips, and I was not understanding what was going on. I've only ever grown this type of plant in the ground, and I did a shear back because I saw new growth coming in at the nodes. And then by the next day, the whole thing was brown. So I was like, well, I guess we're just riding this out with none of the red color that I anticipated for. And then I saw how the heliotrope was looking, and then noticed that the dahlias were really just doing some weird stuff. They were sprawling out, they weren't mounding and staying tall. I was only fertilizing weekly. I did one round of um, the consistent feed. For me, that doesn't work, and honestly, it's just easier for me to hit it with the sprayer with the fertilizer. But they were just getting rangy, and then they were not blooming at all. There were some wilting issues in it, so I'm thinking it was just too much water for them. I don't know how. There are overflows on this. The soil was just nice and evenly moist. So I decided to go and purchase some new plants. So luckily they had a good deal going on. Like I said, 5 for 10. So for $10, well, roughly, maybe under 20, I redid this entire window box at this time of the season. So I felt, even though we're halfway, maybe halfway, sometimes our seasons can extend well into October, so I'll probably get a good run with this to just redo it. So I went in with 3 new plants. I kept the chocolate drop coleus, and I kept the blocky sweet potato vine. Those were doing good. The coleus just needed a little bit more sun because of that dahlia sprawling over it. It just kind of hasn't had the ability to take off. But I went in with Scaevola Whirlwind Blue. Never grown Scaevola before. Seems pretty easy. I liked the color on it. I personally would probably use this over Lobelia because Lobelia tends to be a little finicky, and the heat for us here, I have not got the chance to try out any of the newer varieties, so I'm not quite sure exactly how they would handle the Ohio humidity and heat and all that, but I would love to get my hands on some, maybe next year to try. And then I also went in with the Angel Face Blue Angelonia for some height. It's a deeper, like, purple. To me, these are all purple. The Scaevola, I guess, could be slightly blue. But I went in with that for the height because that would have taken part for the heliotrope height and the color. The Scaevola obviously is not the opposite of what the Vivid Violet Dahlia was. I could have gone in with the Plum Dandy Verbena, which I really did contemplate doing that, but I picked them up for a different area, which we'll talk about. And then I went in with the Supertunia Vista Paradise, which is that searing pink. I absolutely love this petunia. I was kind of out of favor of petunias for a while, and I'm starting to appreciate them just a little bit. I am starting to find that I'm liking certain things again that I was once out on, like hydrangeas. Don't come for me in the comments, please. We're going to talk about hydrangeas and where I want to add some, because I do think I need some of that in my garden. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm even saying that. Petunias and hydrangeas, here we are. But this came together very nicely. I like it. It's nice. I probably just really like it because the other one was doing so crummy and there's so much color now that I'm just happy with it. But below, I went in with Super Tunia Mini Vista Indigo, and I'll be honest, I was gonna actually grow this one this year in some of my containers. I had no plans for bedding any annuals out. This just was not in the budget. But next year, I'm going to try to pick certain spots that will allow me to do some of these types of things because I do realize I do need the annual color in some areas. And this is actually one of the ones I really, really like. I had a Vinca here called Sorori something blue. I don't remember. I think I planted them out too early. I think they were getting too much water. There's a couple that are lingering that have managed to rebound. They're not impressive to me, and I absolutely love those when I seen them before. Um, so it's probably not one that I'll ever do again. But the mini vistas, of course, just did the job. I really, really love it. I love it against the black heucheras that you're seeing. I love it with the searing pink. It's just so good. So I think I will be doing this one again next year. There's another spot that was not doing so hot. Far less problems than what was going on here. But the container that meets you at our turnaround area, I was really, really excited about this one. This one was just a combination that I put together on my own. It was the Plum Dandy Verbena, Superbena, the Calibracoa Super Bells, Double Vintage Coral, the Kufia Totally Tempted Violet. I believe it's the purple one, not the splashed one, the white with the purple in it. And then I did the coleus name I'm going to forget. That's the one I'm going to forget. It's a coral color coleus that I grew from seed, which is really, really easy. The deer decided they were going to eat the kufia. I thought it would be deer resistant because it's fuzzy in texture. No, they decided they were going to eat it, and once it started putting up a little bit more growth and got past the plants again, they ate it again. So I did go out and buy another one. They had two. I picked up the one and stuck it back in there because I want to see this through. I'm going to spray deer repellent on it today because yesterday we got a bunch of rain, so it was kind of pointless. And then I also had one of the Calibracoas die out in the back section, which faces the house. And let's be frank, I really want to see it from all angles. It's a rounded, like a rounded area that I can view. So I picked up a really rangy one, and I think what happened with that one is I planted it like right up against the edge of the pot, so that probably baked the roots quite a bit and wasn't allowing it some time to like recuperate. So I tucked it a little further in and then mingled it in, and it looks really good. But I also picked up more plum dandy, and I wish I would have got one more, and just bedded them out below the pot. The Vincas aren't doing what I wanted. Again, I grew those from seed. I was having a Vinca year, and I can tell you, I won't be doing it again. There's only one variety I would do again, and it's the Cora Cascade Pink. That one seems to be doing pretty well. But the other ones, well, love them. They're taking a long time to bulk up. Um, so I'm really in on verbenas. Really, really appreciating verbenas this year. And I think I'm definitely going to make note to buy verbenas. You can't go wrong with them. So all in all, I fixed a few areas that were looking kind of crummy, but I wasn't going to give up on the idea of having those totally tempted watermelon kufia because I really liked them, and they had a decent amount that looked really, really well. So I picked up 5 more. I'm just going to put these in the ground. I feel like this is more of a plant that needs a period of drying out. So this would be a really good companion for verbena. This would be a really good companion for calibracoas. The heliotrope, yes, and the dahlias, I think, would be still really good companions. I mean, Proven Winners does put their stuff together for that reason, but I think in a self-watering container like this, it might be a little too much because the vigor isn't there. It could have also been me. I'm not gonna deny that. It could have been the fact that I planted these way too early and they just could not. They just started out on the wrong foot. But for now, I'm just gonna plop these in the ground somewhere. Not quite sure yet, and we'll see. We'll see where they end up. I've got two other options. But just know that even though it's the beginning of July and maybe you made some mistakes like me, planting out too early or things just aren't going too well, the garden centers are trying to still make a couple bucks and they're still trying to offload a bunch of their annuals that they bought, and you can get out there and maybe fill up your yard with a little bit more. We've still got a lot of heat to go. We've got a lot of growing time to go here, and there's always a spot that could use a little pop of color. So I hope you're getting out in your garden today and enjoying it. I'm going to plant some plants, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.